So, dear Dhamma practitioners, this is our ongoing meditation session. Be comfortable yourself and relax your body. So once we get connected with the network, we are ready to start the session for today. Okay, so dear Dhamma practitioners, this is our ongoing meditation session. And be comfortable yourself and relax your body. And keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring your attention to this bell sound. And while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind, and relax your breathing with your thoughts. So do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, in these ongoing meditation sessions, we mainly try to give some basic information for yourself to practice. Because when it comes to wisdom, we can't give all the informations related to that what we recognize. There are certain things when we can verbalize and we can express and we can understand each other. But when it comes to our basic life, even in the conventional life, there are a lot of things we can only experience, but we can't express. But the problem is, sometimes we think that whatever we experience, we can express. And then we get into difficulty. So if you are able to understand that what you can explain and what you can express and what you can't explain or what you can't express, that itself give you some kind of peace. Because just imagine, there is something that you understand and you can't verbalize it, but if you try to do it, and maybe we, out of that, sometimes we think other person should understand the way we understood, but it's not going to happen. So then there is a disappointment going to happen. So that's why always, especially when it comes to practice meditation, there are certain things that we can understand only by practice. And what we can do here, we can give some informations about it, and we can show you some methods and how to practice. So then it is your own responsibility. Keep trust on you and practice. Remember, there is no any wisdom that you can gain just following somebody. Following somebody make you more comfortable for yourself to work. So especially when it comes to the mind. Because according to the person, that according to the experience and according to the environment, that always our understanding going to difference. So that's why by arguing, we can't give this wisdom. So then when it comes to meditation, the very meaning, one of the meaning, that a very Pali word is called the bhavana. When it comes to English, it's explained as cultivation. So what you have to cultivate? So there are many ways that we can explain this word cultivation. So today we are going to open another window to understand this little bit more deeply and get into our day-to-day practice, day-to-day lifestyle, and use this as a basic foundation to uplift our conventional life. Because out of that, when you become very familiar with the method here, cultivation, then by the time you are capable to bring it to your mental practice. So one of the meaning, this when it comes to cultivation or the development, is get familiar. So once you get familiar with something, even in the conventional life, it's going to be there as it is. But when, just imagine, when something is not familiar to us, our reactions always going to become different. There are a lot of things in around your house, inside your house, and maybe you don't use it, and maybe it not belong to you, and even you have no idea about it, but it is there, and you are so familiar with it. So when the mind becomes familiar with something, it doesn't matter good or bad, even personally ourselves, whatever right or wrong, whatever profitable or unprofitable, whatever skillful or unskillful. So once you get familiar, it's going to be there. This is very important that you have to understand in yourself. Don't allow unnecessary things to be familiar with you. Because once unskillful things, that unprofitable things become familiar, it's going to come with you. So then, how we can bring it to meditation? Just imagine the breathing. Once you start to observe, the breathing is there 24/7. And even your mind maybe go here and there, back and forth, past to the future, and everywhere. But still, the breathing happening, but sometimes you are not familiar about it. So from the beginning, once you start to put your attention, what happens? Once your mind is not familiar with the breathing, it always gets disturbed. The mind always feel uncomfortable, discomfort, and it's always try to go here and there. So then it is your responsibility. Cultivation means another way, cultivate this familiarity with the breathing. So then your meditation going to become very easy. Anytime, anywhere, you can practice. Right away, you can get into the breathing and you can see the breathing more deeply. Once you become familiar, it's very easy for you to recognize. But if you are not familiar, you have to put some extra effort to recognize it. And maybe that recognition is not going to work sometimes. Because all the mental ideas come and start to disturb. So then get familiar is important part to yourself when it comes to practice. Even in day-to-day life, whatever difficult for you, put some extra effort, and once you get familiar, it's going to be there. So what does that mean then? And sometimes in this mind has behavior. It doesn't matter. The mind doesn't categorize. Mind doesn't reject or accept anything like that way. But when our awareness become more familiar with anything, it's going to go with it. So then be very careful. Be very careful everything around you. And because once if something get familiar, it become part of your life. And then it may go beyond the death and birth to birth, again and again, go around you. And when it comes to meditation, your observation, concentration, become familiar with the breathing, what will happen? The next step. Then you have ability. Once you become familiar with something, there is another skill come to you. The ability to gather, bring together. Because most of time, we don't have that. We always separately, we always try to compare, and with the comparison, we deal with the life. We don't have the ability to bring together. So that's why this dualistic mind exists around us, right or wrong, up and down, good or bad. So like that. But can you gather the good and bad together? Can you gather right and wrong together? Can you gather up and down together? Can you gather black and white together? So in that way, because the mind starts to detach from, once you gather, mind detach from being with the picture. Because the mind always have nature to dual of a form, name and form. That is how the mind work. So there are a lot of things you experience in your life without a form. but you don't see that. But the thing is, in the conventional life, so being with the form, developing a form, method, or the pattern, or the colors, or the structure, or developing this form itself is the very behavior of this conventional mind. So to develop that way, you always have to separate. So that's why we depending on this dualistic mind to have this name and form, and it's become the very structure of our conventional life. So then what is the nature of its spiritual life? So the spiritual life, it's always the mind little by little, detached from developing forms. If you look very carefully, just imagine that you can listen to a sound without developing a picture on the top of that experience. You can experience the smell without developing a picture on the top of that. Like jasmine. So like a kind of like a rose. So you can have the smell, but mind most of time becomes so comfortable when it comes to the rose. So to kind of like develop a picture. And the goodness. And when it comes to a person or thing, the goodness you can experience without having a picture. But the thing is, when the mind is not strong, it has ability. When the mind is so busy, when the mind is not strong, when the mind is not solid, it always develops a lot of pictures. Many pictures to understand something. But when the mind becomes strong, solid, clear, sharp, what happens? You are capable with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind to understand things without making a picture on the top of that experience. So that is something that you have to little bit slow down and have a kind of like an introspection and observe yourself and see how it worked for you. Because most of time we are so comfortable with the pictures. But when it comes to the real mind exists without a picture. So try to catch it. So when you gather, what happens? The mind detached from the kind of like holding to a picture, developing a picture. So that is where you can harness the things. That is where you can develop the equanimity. That's where you can come to the middle. So, and that is the best ability of developing a relationship with anything. So then meditation means another way, rather than bringing your mental point of view, your personal point of view, your kind of like pictures regarding your perception. So really, you develop the ability to experience things and allowing things to be as it is without having a kind of like a mental structure about it inside you. So when it comes to relationship, how then it is important for us? Because even just imagine in the in our day-to-day life. If you have some kind of idea related to something or somebody, this is something good, or this is something bad, this person is a good person, this is a bad person, so kind of like that. So behind that goodness or the badness or you have a kind of like a picture. You are dealing with that picture. So with holding to that picture, you can't develop a relationship. What you need to do, you have to withdraw from that picture and allowing it to be together. So mindfulness, another way, means bring things together as it is without bringing our idea into the middle. So then can you do that? Can you experience whatever comes to your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, without bringing some different ideas from your past experience to the moment? And most of the time, we experience things with our history. Our history always interfere to the moment of experience. That is what the cankers, mental formations. And when you bringing, just imagine, again and again, again and again, when you bring something, that whatever it is become more familiar than what you experience in the moment. 10 years ago, you had some kind of experience, and then all these 10 years, every day, every week, maybe every year, you used to repeat it again and again and again. And then that repetition came out of developing a mental picture. Now that mental picture is so strong inside you rather than the moment of experience. So because of that, what happens? You can't understand what is happening in the moment. So then always you hold it to that your past experience, that is why your opinion again and again, again and again going to become stronger, and it bring it to your own life, and that repetition itself go around again and again. So you can do it within 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, and even it can happen during 1 lifetime, and it can happen 2 lifetimes, and it can go eons by eons. That is what called samsara. Samsara means, another way, what you repeat inside your own mind. What you develop, the pictures regarding your moment of experience, and the repetition of that mental image is your samsara. When the day you come to understand this and withdraw this mental image or your imagination and just be with your own moment of experience, that is where you're going to see how things come to be as they are. And that is where you're going to keep it as it is. If you can keep things as it is, you stay away from things. You are not responsible for that. And that is where you can withdraw from the world. You can divorce from the world. You can get out of this circle. But it is very hard for us to let things to be as it is. We always think there are things belong to me. No. There's nothing belong to you. So then don't try to hold it to something and take it as yours. Leave there. Leave things there and you feel so comfortable, peace, day by day, day by day. So whatever you see, maybe when you watch news, maybe you see some things happen in the world, just let it be there. Don't take it to you, because taking it to you not going to change the world. It always mesmerizes your inner imagination. So nothing wrong that you recognize something, but that recognition you have to do it with the mindfully, knowingly it is something that outside. And sometimes when the wrong things happen, when things kind of like happen that the way that we are not like what we try to do, we try to interfere with that things, and that itself bring the calamities, difficulties, arguments, and nothing going to fix. Look at the world day by day, day by day. Everything become a mess. Nothing can fix that way. Only thing is we can look into ourselves and let the world to be there as it is, but be clear with your awareness. Don't try to develop your imagination depend on the moment of experience. Because what happened outside, you can't bring to your imagination. So then what happens? When things happen outside, you develop a mental picture, you develop your imagination, you create something inside your mind which is not in the outside. So that is what your world. So then imagine everybody wants to start to develop like that something which is not there. That itself kind of like illusion. So that's why, even though in the very conventional life, sometimes it is not easy for us, little by little, just by hearing, little by little, practicing yourself, slowly withdraw from the imagination regarding these outside events. So don't interfere with it. Let it be there. Because as you know, the fundamental, the basicality, that we know the cause and effect, causality, and another way we call the karma. And according to the necessary cause and conditions, things happens, and at the same time, whatever, and according to that cause and conditions, it's going to go that way. And whoever do something or whatever happened there, it's responsible related to that person. So that responsibility, let it be there. But our mistake is in the very conventional life, what happened? We try to take responsibility. You have only one thing that you can take responsibility. Not regarding the world, but about your own awareness, your consciousness, your intention. So take responsibility for that and be very clear with it. So don't touch the world, because you can't touch the world. Only thing is you just develop unnecessary imagination. So you can do it. So when it comes to cultivation, means another way that you develop a skill. Whatever you see, whatever you hear, whatever you smell, whatever you taste, whatever you feel, whatever you think, let it be there rather than developing mental imagination. So cultivate that skill. Then you will see there are a lot of things that cannot disturb you. there are things that not going to make you unbalanced. So it is a process that you have to practice. So then when it comes to meditation, we start it with our breathing. And you settle down, you observe the posture a little bit and see how your body settle down itself. And you bring your awareness and recognize that. And whatever it is there, whatever the sensation arises, you don't interfere with it. But you observe, you recognize it very clearly. So then you work with your own observation, your awareness, your consciousness, not that outside sensation. So then when it comes to your observation, once the observation becomes clear, and sometimes what is happening in the outside, you're going to see in different ways. So sometimes without very clear mind, we try to understand the world, we try to understand the people, we try to recognize things. And that is where all the misunderstanding happens, misinterpretations happens. So then it is better let the world to be there and don't try to bring our imagination related to something, but work with your own mind and be very clear. Once that clarity becomes stronger, then you will see that just when you hear something, smell something, taste something, feel something, itself, you're going to touch the truth without any words, without any explanation, without any arguments, without any kind of informations. You are capable to recognize the truth. Why? Because the mind is not separate from anything. Your mind exists everywhere. Then what the separation, what this, that you and me exist like this? Because of our imagination. Our imagination has power to separate everything. That separation empower the samsara. But once you understand, your mind is this all, and that is the day you become more comfortable with anything. And that is the day your transformation happens, your liberation happens. So then little by little, in this your conventional life, learn to practice. Let things to be there. Don't touch it. So you can enjoy the scene. You can enjoy the process. You can enjoy the activity, but you are not going to interfere with that. So in that way, by the time you have the life, why? But you don't develop a samsara out of that moment of experience. But always remember, if you develop some kind of imagination out of any experience, that imagination going to take you somewhere from this moment to the future. So with that, let's get into practice a little bit. So your right palm on your left and neck straight in one line and be comfortable with your posture. So bring your attention to your body and scan head to toes yourself and say Supatveva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable, may my breath be more smooth, may no difficulties come to me, may all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalation and exhalation. So be familiar with the inhalation and exhalation and gather your mind and be with it without disturbing or without bringing any kind of mental imagination to the middle of your practice. So in the beginning, deeply and gently breathe in, breathe out 3 times, please. And allow your inhalations, exhalations happen itself. When it happens, recognize it, do nothing extra. Bring your attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also as far as you can, through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light. Your backside. Your left side. And your right side. Downward. And upward. To all 6 directions at once. Like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest, wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. Also, by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ittavata chami sampadam punya sampadam sabbe devanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhutanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe sattanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Imaya dhamma anudhamma patipattiya buddham pujemi dhammam pujemi sangham pujemi Attaya imaya patipattiya jati jara vyadhi maranam ha paribundhisami Idamme punya kammang asavakkaya vang hotu sabba dukkha pamunchatu. Bless you.